How's it going, everybody? My name is Drew, or Andrew Vega, and I just want to welcome you to this new series we got here. We're going to be discussing various topics. I want to call this, or title it, The Mystery of the Christos, an extension to the actual book that I wrote. It's going to be in maybe 2, maybe 3 volumes. I'm thinking just 2 right now. I got the first one done. This one it's called Mystery of the Christos and Epopteia of the 144,000. What it's about is basically everything syncretism. It's a really thorough outline of everything that has to do with religion, and we want to go ahead and answer any questions, and I want to discuss all these topics in conjunction to the questions or to the concerns that are expressed by people who have been told not to look into this stuff or talk about it because of their religion. It is important that we do get deep into this stuff. You don't have to be in any part of religion. You don't have to be in any kind of membership for anything. There's no seances required, no fees to pay. This is all natural science. It's been everything that the ancients had taught since the beginning of time. So I had pre-recorded this, well, just earlier today, but I forgot to give an introduction to who I am, what my name is, and what it is that we're here to do. So with that, go ahead and grab your coffee if you got one, and join me into this adventure. And I hope it's something that you can learn from. And it's been my pleasure to study this stuff. It's been quite some time. It took me a good at least 5, 6, 7 years maybe just to journey into all this. So with that being said, grab your blunts, grab your coffee, and enjoy. Back, y'all. Or for those who don't remember your past life, welcome. Here we are. If you got your coffee, you got your blunt, got your pen, go ahead, light it up. Remy's gonna join us. That's my pit there. What's up, Remy? Say what's up. Say what's up. Okay, she's camera shy right now. I just wanted to start a series of videos here that elaborate on what we are here to do on this earth. We don't know. We're not born with an instruction manual. What I have done for us to save the trouble is went ahead and read the books that we were told not to read if you're a member in a church or organized religion. They generally tell you to stay away from certain things, and these are a lot of times literature that have to do with a detailed, in-depth, kind of just tearing apart deep into the occult, and all occult means, let's just get this straight now, occult, all it means is something hidden. So it can even be what was stored in the mind and relayed to people in general from on an external level, because the thoughts that you have, we don't know. You have to explain it with voice, and that is essentially occult, because you are explaining something from deep within that you saw from within this mental eye, and you spoke it and you brought it into existence. That is the occult. That is all it means. It doesn't mean that we're doing seances with drawing pentagrams and salt and standing in the center and levitating and doing all this that stuff. That is all wish-wash that they want you to see, and they put that in the movies to distract you, to put people away from looking into what's true. But here on this channel, if you want to call it, in this series that I'm putting together, we are just open-minded. We are syncretists, and we are going to explain together as a group what exactly we are here to do. So let's begin. Let's start with what the name of God is. Now, everybody has their version of what they call God. Some call him Jehovah, some call him Yahweh, some call it Lord, a title. Some think it's Jesus. Others, if you live on the other continents, in let's say India, China, he is Brahma. He is could be a Ganesh. He could be anything. A Kali, Krishna, who was just a savior. But these are all, and Vishnu, who he was an incarnation of. We can go all day about what we think God is. From an Egyptian standpoint, that's where the word Yahweh and Jehovah really originated from, because we get the word Yah or Jah or Yahoo, which is basically the term that they called God. And these are always in every language, every nation you go to. He is a name of vowels, a series of vowels, and these, even in the ancient Hebrew traditions, those are unspoken. You can't say those terms because we are too mortal, we are not worthy of speaking God's name. So that is one of the things here. Look at Remy's right here now. She got comfortable. She wanted to say what's up. So these are some of the terms that originated from Egyptian culture. And we're not saying that Egyptians or all the ancients were all knowing, but they definitely were not ignorant. Let's elaborate. So Yahoo came from the words Yuhu, Uhu, and they basically pronounced it. If we spell it, it would be I-O-U, you, or yeah, I guess so, you, and who, and Hugh. All of those were different variations of the name. Now, if you think about this, and you set all the names that we called God on a table, you would see a very similar sounding name everywhere you go, and they all have the U or A or E or Uv. So let's just not get taken off track. But I wanted to stick to this because I wanted to make a series of this. We can go ahead and we can delve into all these subjects one by one, and there's no reason why we should rush or get sidetracked. So Ihu was from or Ihu. You can even see these words in Spanish if you speak Spanish. These terms are pretty they're pretty interchangeable, and a lot of times they can be translated to mean exactly that. Ihu is your or hijo or hija, that's your son and your daughter in Spanish, for those who don't know. And then El and La, well, there you go. That's El is all is a god in Babylonian, like Baal, and Sumerian. La is, of course, if you are Muslim, Allah, or all-knowing, or all, or the everything. That's Allah. And Allah is also Latin as Ilah. Ilah is everything. So that's also Semitic. Elohim. Elohim is, now if you know the Bible, you'll know that in the first chapter in the Torah or Genesis, you'll see that they mention, I think it's one, I want to say the first chapter in 20, they mention Elohim, the creators that helped God build the world. These are the seven builders, or seven artificers. They are artisans, not that are Masonic temple builders, but these are masons. They are builders. They built the universe. Now, what is the universe? The universe, Plato calls, is a entity or an animal that is living. What else do we have? We got, let's see, Brahma. From Brahma was the universe created. Four streams coming from his head, because he has four heads. Those were the elements. Also, they have seven gods. Altogether, if you look into the Hindu theology, you'll see that people say over 3,000, which, okay, that's true, but in actuality, there's 33 entities, and these 33 are essentially just the main ones. Now, back to what Plato called the universe, an animal or a creature, or one big living body, and the Elohim, like in the Bible, are the seven that put God into one big creature. So Elohim, in chapter 1 of Genesis, is made to be, man is made to be in the image of Elohim. If you don't want to believe that you think that God is, your religion is monotheistic, they are always monotheistic, but they're always some kind of polytheistic origin behind it, because it's always one creator, but they're one of many components. Just like us, you have hands, you have feet, you have fingers. They move individually, but they're connected to you. Even when animals, when they pass away, they go back to a group spirit. But we're not going to get into that right now. We are going to get deeper into that, but let's get to the main points here. So, yeah, Elohim is the universe, the seven creating bodies. Now, whether you want to look at that as the planets, which there is technically 9 that the astronomers of today, or NASA, recognizes as officially 9 planets, then that's fine. But still, there's 2 luminaries and 7 planets. That's 7. You got, even what the Chinese brought to our attention, who were the Keeling, the 5 elders who were at the birth of Confucius's being ushered into the world. When he was born, in his house, his father allowed these 5 elders into his house, and the dragon and Keeling were there, the auspicious characters, and they entered the house. So that's the 5 elders, or the 5 planets. That's always what the Chinese have always recognized as gods or planets, is the 5 and 2 luminaries. So once again, you're back to the 7 and 5, or the 2 and 5, which is still, you got the 12 constellations. That's 7 and 5. 7 plus 5 is 12. Now, as far as the Buddhist schools too, they recognize 12 signs of the zodiac, and also this was divided, their Tibetan schools, into 7 and 5. The 12 teachers of 7 and 5 schools. Also, the ancient Orphic or Grecian theology of what Plato was teaching back in his day, they recognized the story of air, or ear, or He was a soldier, a Grecian soldier, who died on the battlefield, and when he did, he was taken up to heaven. He was accompanied with fellow soldiers, and he was also he was there with his enemies. And when they were going up to heaven, they were there with 4 doors. When he saw the 4 doors, he noticed that there was 2 doors going to and from earth and heaven, and then 2 doors going from heaven into earth. So 4 doors. This is always been what's recognized as the 2 portals. The portals that Enoch had witnessed. These are Capricorn and Cancer on the zodiac. Those are 2 opposites. Those are the 2 feathers, the 2 ostrich plumes that Osiris wears on his I can't even remember the term they call the I know you guys know if you know, but the 2 plumes represent the north and the south, or the 2 polar opposites of the universe. The northern was gold and the silver was southern. And also this is your if you watch Santos, you'll know that he recognizes the electric and the magnetic and the dielectric, and we are on Earth on the dielectric plane is what he recognizes it as. And I've been following Santos for many moons. I know one of these days we'll get together, but as of right now, if you want to recall some of his old videos, play them back, study them. He's super detailed in his original work, his old work, even when he was a ball earther. I've been following Santos for a long time. In fact, he was one of the first people that got me to turn into syncretism. Him and Bill Donahue and Jordan Maxwell. They've always been really good teachers into the esoteric schools. So yeah, Plato saw it as that. Paracelsus was a teacher. He was a physician. Back around the 1500s, he died. He wasn't very old when he died, but he was also a believer of the planets as being related to the body of man, and that we were divided into 7, basically the 7 divisions. These can be, if you want to call them, the chakras, which there's you got 5 active and 2 latent. That's the 5 and 7 again. So 5 chakras that are active and 2 that are dormant or have to be triggered or earned or activated. That's your pineal and your pituitary gland. Now we'll go through this also too. I got diagrams that I did. If you guys like to read, I got a book that I wrote. This is called The Mystery of the Christos. If you haven't seen it, it's on Amazon now. I got diagrams in here. I should have, I'll figure out a way to get them. See, that's when you open the book. I got this is my design. I drew that. I'm the original designer of this there. So that's my design, personal. I got the frontispiece. So as soon as you open the book, on page 3, here you go. I got a diagram that I personally put together, and it has your 7 chakras, following the 7 divisions along the spine, and the nerves that they're corrected on that are sympathetic to the glands. Also too, I put, let's see, the 7 churches, when St. John gave his Gnostic vision of the 7 churches of Ephesus or Asia. These are also the Kabbalistic Sephiroth, which means sphere. or basically what a Sephiroth or a sphere is. What NASA doesn't want to tell you is that these are a sphere is a central focal point of energy. So when you look at these planets, you're looking at a component to the universe. These aren't something you can touch or go to or visit. You can spiritually, but you cannot go to them and walk on these places and habitat them and live in them and build fucking houses and suburbs. Excuse my French. I didn't mean to curse. But you cannot have yourself walking on those planes or spheres. These are spiritual components. They help during certain conditions of time to they actually, what they do is they give off certain energies to give properties to the earth, and that's what you find in minerals. If you look at semi-precious stones, those are created by focal points of those planets rotating over and over and beaming through the sun like a big prism, and they are basically implementing and they're implementing their energies and their power as an influx. So when you look at the sun, it's an influx of all the planets together. That's why it's so hard to look at, and you can't just pinpoint one color, because when your eyes look at that sun, there is multiple colors, and you can see colors. Like if you I'm good at it already. I can stare at the sun and it doesn't, I don't blink, I don't tear up, I don't squint. I can stare at it, no problem. I don't get bruising in the eyes. I don't see that. The best time, if you want to ever do that, I mean, nobody wants to just stare into the sun, but if you ever do, there is health benefits to that. We'll get to that also. But yeah, I would start with 6 a.m. in the morning. When the sun comes up, you can actually stare into the sun, and you'll recognize the health benefits that are in there, and they'll start working their way into your body, and you will recognize a difference. So this channel, what we're doing is we're basically going over how to live a healthy lifestyle, how to basically recognize what God is, so that we can see where we're gonna go when we die, because nobody wants to know or think about these things. Nobody wants to ask these questions, because we want to go about our daily lives, and we are building on a material mound all the things that we think are important to us. So it's okay to be successful in this lifetime, but it's not okay to put that over what you're here to do and over your family and all that. That's not what we're here to make important. To make important is to come here and learn. You're here for experience. Experience equals your solar growth, and not solar like the sun solar. I'm talking solar, SOULER, solar. So later we'll put those words together, and they'll both mean the same thing. But right now, you want to recognize the soul as a component. A soul is something that is sustained through the physical and the spiritual, through the visible and the invisible. That is where your soul is sustained. It's suspended between. Just like man is not animal and we're not God, but we're in between animal and God. So there is a suspension of intelligence from God and a desire of flesh, just like an animal. We're going to learn the benefits of being vegetarian or vegan, because I say vegetarian because it's not easy for us to just go vegan right away. Eventually, that's something you should probably look into as a future goal, as a what do you call that? Just something to invest in sometime down the line in your life, because These animals don't ask to be killed and slaughtered so they can be eaten and pushed out of your butt in like 2 or 3 weeks. Especially if you're somebody who's really unhealthy, all that's doing is just, it's ruining you. I know you probably don't believe it now, but I was almost like 300 pounds. I was a big dude, but I did cut out all the meat in my life. There was a point where I was on the ground crawling and I could not keep even fucking applesauce down. I was throwing up that bad. That was when I just had my gallbladder removed. People are in a lot worse shape these days, but that's just something that for me was my turnaround point. And after that day, on December 25th, 2010, that's when I told myself I'm not gonna put myself in a position where I'm risking this gift, because life is a delicate gift. We're here and gone in a very short time, and usually when that time comes, you're not able to say goodbye to your family. So that's why it's important today that we make good for tomorrow, and you want to show your family that you love them. You want to let them know now that you care and that you want to be there for them. And the best way to do that is to think for tomorrow. So, what is God? Why did he put us here? What is the purpose of people living and dying? Because I'm from Salinas, California. If you don't know that place, it's a pretty rough area. Everybody that's from there knows that there is something lingering in the air there that's evil, that has a tendency to want to see you fall. Now, with that, some people live violent lives, some people don't, but that's not for us to judge whether that person is good or bad, or if they're going to hell or not, because you never know. You can't judge a book by its cover or its title. So, back to this. So what we're gonna do, I mean, you can't fit back here, dude. What we're gonna do now is break down, like I said, we're going to break down what God is, what Jehovah, whatever you want to call your God, Allah, you want to call it Brahma, you want to call him Fusi, all them. We're going to break down, or Fohai. We're going to break it all down. So here's what we got so far. And then you got Athanasius Kircher. He gave the 72 names of God. What is that? Why does he have 72 names? Why is it that? So basically, what we're back down to are the 7 planets. These are the 7 artificers, and they are the ones that bestow an energy to you. And this is what is taught in the pranayama, the study of the chakras and how to activate them. What we want to do is basically explain how that works. So you want to, from whenever you get a chance, to make a vow on a new moon. Today is January the 14th, 2021. If you're watching this afterwards, 2 weeks from now will generally be another phase in the moon. So it could be full moon 2 weeks from now, so on the 28th. What you want to do, or it would probably be the 23rd or 22nd. That's generally because the new moon was, some have on their calendars yesterday, the 13th or the 12th. I generally fast on new moons and full moons, and you don't have to do that, but I do. And if you have what do you call that? If you have something that you know is a problem where you want to improve, say you smoke cigarettes and you want to stop smoking cigarettes, write it down. Tell the universe you're gonna stop smoking cigarettes. That it will work. You trust me, it will work. You got to put it in your mind that that's something that you generally want to do. The next thing to do is to start off to get your third eye to work, to activate clairvoyance. You want to basically stop lying. If you have a problem lying, be honest to yourself, or else this will not work. To be somebody who carries the burden of lying, man, you have no idea what you're causing to your body. You have no idea the drama that it or the stress that it has on your body. It does carry with it a very bad health issue. If you don't believe me, you'll see it. A lot of people that you know that are unhealthy, they generally lie a lot. What's up, baby boo?
Hi, baby.
Hi. Come over here. I'm recording. Come say what's up to the viewers. You're live and direct. So we got in the ancient Hebrew books, they break down Israel, the Israelites, who Moses were to free. Israel can be broken down into 3 separate syllables. Those are 3 separate entities, 3 names: Isis, Ra, and El, or Krishna, Vishnu, Shiva, who is El, Saturn, who is popularized as a personification of the physical entity, or man generally. And so Isis represents the spirit or the soul, and Ra is the thought, or the spirit itself that presented the idea, the form. So it's the form, the physical, and the soul, who is in between. That's Isis. Those 3 create a trinity, and that trinity is basically used all throughout the world, and it's seen everywhere, in every continent, every country. There is a triangle or a tripart energy that creates who you are today. And basically, you want to be the best person you can. You want to show God that you came here to build, and that you came here to impress upon the world a good person, which is who you really are. That is who you are born to be, and you're not here to waste time to show people or put on a front. You're wasting time. If that's what you're doing, just throw it away. Roll that up in a blunt, smoke it to the neck, and that's it. It's ashes. It's done. Show God who you are here to be. You came here to this earth, and your natural instinct when you were a kid was, if you think you were here to be bad and be a little ass when you were a kid, that's really not who you were. That's really not who you are, because you thought about the things that you did. You thought about whether you should be doing those things or not. That little voice inside you, that is who you are. That is your past life or your past experience coming back, and slowly either it got lost in who you are today and pushed out of the way, or you got deaf. It fell on deaf ears to who it is you really are. But all in all, you are a good person. You are there. You are in there, and you got to bring it back out. So in the story of Osiris, they call it the Osirian cycle. Aset, or Asar, who is Osiris, is the form, is God. In a way, he is your father. So from there, he had a sister wife, or consort, Isis. Now, you're probably thinking this is incest or some kind of weird sexual whatever, but it's not. These are myths. Myths weren't meant to be told as true stories or some human experience or mortal experience. They were used to explain the unknown. They were used to illustrate these spiritual forms. So like I'm saying, she was the mother. So you got form, spirit, and then the son. he represents matter, and that also completes the cycle of birth, life, and death, or birth, growth, and decay, because from death begets life. The cycle begins again. So that Trinitarian cycle keeps going. It's never stops. And also in astrology, that's seen as the cardinal, fixed, immutable signs. Every sign is either one of those, and there's 4 groups of that. So you got let's see, the Aryan or Aries is cardinal. So you got who is that? Aries, Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. Those are your 4 cardinal signs. From there you got the 4 fixed signs. Those are usually what you see as the evangelical saints, who are the bull, the man, the eagle or scorpion, whichever, because Scorpio has always had 2 different representations or symbols, and also Leo, which also, if you break down those 4 signs, you basically get the form of man out of that. So you got the head of a human, you got the heart of a lion, you got who else? Scorpion is your generative system, and what's the last one? I'm missing one here. We already said Aquarius. The bull, the oxen. So that's basically representative of the arterial, or the Venus, because you got Aries, who is the arterial, or Aries or Horus, which represents red, Mars, and Venus, who is Taurus, which is the veins, or the opposite, the Venus planet. So you got red and blue, or red and green, whatever way you want to look at that. But that's two separate sympathetic portions of your nervous system. So you got the nervous and the sympathetic system of your body, and then the mutable signs, of course. Those are all what my wife is, Gemini. What else we have? Gemini. Help me out here. Gemini, Virgo, Sag, and Pisces. So yes, sorry it took me so long to get those out. I'm generally pretty fast with this, but there's a lot I want to say in little time. Let's see, what else? Yeah, so right now we're just basically speaking about the breakdown of what God is and how it's represented in all these different factions of the Bible or occult. You'll see also the 12 signs. They make up, in a lot of diagrams, a body of a man. They begin with the head of Aries, the neck or throat of Taurus. Gemini is usually the shoulders or arms, the twins. Cancer is the lungs or the chest. You got what am I thinking about? Virgo, the stomach or the intestinal, or basically where you would be carrying your baby area, because the Virgin Mary represents that. Let's see. Leo, the heart. Jeez, I got these all mixed up, didn't I? Let's see here. Libra, the hips, or what am I saying? The hips, the kidneys. Those are where your body's balanced out at. Scorpio, the generative or reproductive parts. Sagittarius, the hips, thighs. Capricorn, of course, is the shins or the knees. Aquarius is the ankles, and Pisces the feet. So that's how you make man through that. And like I said before, Elohim, the 7 planets, generally make up what God is. So those are generally in 7 parts, just like the chakras. divided into making one complete body. And whether you want to believe that's a actual man or actual living, breathing person who is a god, who just sits on the clouds with a big gray beard and zaps a little strike of lightning at people who are bad, then so be it. That's what you believe. I'm not going to tell you what you can and cannot believe. But that illustrates what God is in Genesis 1, about where the Elohim are and who they create and what they represent. Same thing with the zodiac. Those 12 in the universe also applied to man. So just like Paracelsus used to believe, or still puts out there, that man is a mini universe. So as above, so below. So within, as within, so without. So 72 names in the Hebrew. In the Hebrew religion, same thing. All those names generally are Yahweh spelt and reversed and moved in different positions just to get different names. In the Hindu or ancient Brahmic theology, same thing. Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. That's the birth through Brahma, the four heads of Brahma. Vishnu, who is the reincarnation, he's in Krishna form or many other avatars. And Shiva, who was the one they called him the destroyer, or the one that went to battle, who was carried his trident. That was, and some people compare him to Satan. Now, that's another topic we're going to have to get into, is what Satan is too. Some people believe he's this red devil guy with a pitchfork and tail. That's, like I said, those are fairy tales made to distract you. It's like a Santa Claus. I didn't get to anything I wanted to speak about that I wrote down, but as of right now, I feel like that's a good start to kind of get into what we're going to be, how deep we're going to be going. So we, once again, the 7, 12, 3 and the 4, which is the 7, 5 and 7 is 12. Let's see. So we're going to be dealing with the Trinity. We're going to be dealing with the quaternary, which is the square. And once we get through with that, that'll help us ease into astrology and how to calculate astrology. So as for right now, we are going to call it a day. If you do have any questions, or if you do want me to touch on something we didn't, I know there's just so much you can fit in the video, but these videos nowadays, I gotta be careful what we say, because it could be offending something, or they could pull this. But hit me up. I'll put my email down in the description. Hit me on the hit, man. Alright, everybody take care and be safe. Love one another. Namaste.